Hello, hello. If you can hear me, please put a thumbs up and let me know that you can hear me. Welcome to the midweek reboot. I'm Mayan, and I'm really glad that you're here. Whether you're watching later or you're joining live, thank you for being here. And remember, this midweek reboot is to pause in the middle of the week. And the aim is to restore stability during the week and allow for some reflection. So, thank you for confirming that you can hear me and there's sound. So, today's topic, but before I introduce today's topic, my question is, and you can drop it into the chat. What's one thing in your life right now that is making it harder to focus at work? What's one thing in your life right now that is making it harder to focus at work? So today's topic is you don't get time off when life breaks. And there's also a story behind it. So when life is heavy, you don't need to perform at your best. You need to know how to keep functioning without breaking. And the context to this is as follows. Because right now, my life is not light. My father has been diagnosed and confirmed with stage 4 cancer and is under palliative care. On top of it, my dog has been diagnosed with kidney and liver failure and is also in palliative care. So that's not light, it's a heavy load to carry. For both my siblings and myself, we have to show up. We have to think, we have to decide, we have to deliver. We have to still continue with life. So, what I'm presenting to you, what we're going to have a conversation about, it's not theory, it's what I'm actually navigating at the moment. And from my life, from other people's lives, the colleagues I interact with, from yourselves based on your comments, that provides the inspiration for some of these topics that we cover on the live. Because if I'm going through it, then surely other people are also going through it. And if there's ways of helping each other to cope, then therefore these conversations become important. So if you would like to share what is one thing in your life right now that is making it harder to focus at work. And the real thing is, people put on a face for work, but one never really knows what is happening in their lives. So we can't just assume that everything is great in everybody's life. There's also a personal life. And we don't leave our personal lives at the door when we go to work. So we bring it with us. And all that's going through us, that is what we need to be cognizant of, that other professionals are going through what you might be going through, not the same issues, but there's things that's happening in their lives. And as they say, life happens. And it might not be sickness, it might be other issues. So, how do we cope during that period? Recently, one of my colleagues who was away for a year last year, she had some kind of cancer. She came back this year, January, with a clean bill of health. She mentioned that all of the cancer that was removed through radiation, So she was given a clean bill of health. What they didn't do was do a brain scan to see if the cancer moved to the brain. So she was feeling unwell, went back to the doctors, and she has tumors in her brain, which is now being removed. So people don't really share what they're going through, but they're going through it, and life gets hard. So the issue is that nobody teaches us how to function when life becomes hard. I thought, as I was thinking about what's going through my life, and last week, my dog came out of hospital on the Wednesday, so I had to make the choice as well. Do I go ahead with the live and give half of my attention, not my whole self, to the live, or do I just cancel? And you know what? I decided let's cancel because you have to also take time out. It was an important day. We had to make a big decision about my dog's health. And I was going to show up at the live, but not fully here. So it was not good on me and not good on you. So I decided cancel the live. So sometimes you have to make those types of decisions. In this session, I'll show you how to keep showing up at work, making decisions, and getting through your day, even when your personal life is not okay, because we need to still learn to function, even though things may be happening in our personal lives. So I've got some responses in the chat. Family issues. Not sure if you can see. Yes, I can see the comment. Thank you. So, family issues, and that's where a lot of our problems come from as well. And thanks, Kels, for confirming that you can see Yesh's comments. So, your problems, your challenges may come from different avenues, but it's still there. So, what is the fix when life is too heavy? How do you still continue at work? Do you find it difficult when you're going through something personal? Do you find it difficult to focus at work? You can drop it down in the chat. How do you cope? Is there a way that you're learning to cope, or is there a way that you cope when life happens? So here are some ways of to self-regulate during these difficult times. The first one I'd like to put forward is the lower the bar, not the standard reset. So people try to operate at full capacity while emotionally overloaded. And what happens? They crash. So I could have went on with the live last week, but I wouldn't have been operating at full capacity. So it was better that I canceled it. And I'll take the comments just now. You can put in your comments so far. So long. Kalisha and Yesh, I see you. So you don't need to drop your standards. During this period of time, you don't drop your standards. You just need to adjust to what good looks like today. So it might not be that you operate like this normally, but what does good look like today? So you determine that. So, for example, in practice, instead of a perfect output, aim for clear and correct outputs. Instead of full productivity, aim for you complete priority things. Instead of high energy presence, aim for focused contribution. So if so you need to determine which meetings you go to, What deliverables are you going to prioritize? How are you going to engage with your team members? And usually you'd want to be perfect in the things you put out, but aim for simple, clear, correct. So this is how you determine what good looks like. Kelisha says, yes, 100%. I feel like I can't concentrate when going through something. My mind is always fixated on that issue. And our mind will take us to what's most important. And therefore, your mind keeps going to what's holding you down. What's that overload, that emotional overload that you're going through? And look at what some of these options that I put forward, if that can help you when you're going through a certain situation. Yesh says unhealthy coping mechanisms for me. Food. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. I'm a comfort eater. So food kinds of dulls my emotion. And people find different vices. And for me, it's food. And I know my trigger. When I'm stressed, then I'll go for food. And here, in terms of lower the bar and not the standard. So when my mom was sick with cancer in 2020, I would meet the client on a Monday and have the physical meetings, and I arranged to do the work remotely. So I'd have the physical meetings on a Monday, and I'd arrange for the work to be done remotely. So I could spend time and attend to her needs during the weekdays. So that entailed me working at night. So I pushed my deliverables at night, and I still had to earn an income. So I did that at night, especially, and doing work mostly in the evening. So then during the day, I could take care of my mother. And like that, you need to see how you're able to deliver, but you can have certain um, arrangements with work or your client. I know one of my colleagues many years back, she used to work a full work day and moved to working half a day. She still pushed output. However, she front loaded the work for the beginning of the day, the first part of the day, so she was able to attend to things later on. It's about having the right conversations. And by lowering the bar and not the standard, this removes pressure without compromising professionalism. Then the next one, the second one, is the three critical moves only rule. So when life is heavy, everything feels overwhelming. And then decision fatigue increases. So, what you should do each day, identify only three things that must move forward. Just three, not 10, not nine, just three things that will move forward, that you want moved forward. And let those three things, which moves the needle, concentrate on that, focus on that. Not responding to your inbox, but activities that truly matter. So, those are the three things that you concentrate on. And why does this work? It's because it reduces cognitive overload. So, you know what needs to be done, and that's what you concentrate on. It forces you to prioritize what are those three things that's going to get things done. and it creates a sense of control. Those are the things that you're going to do, and that's what you focus on. And this is how professionals can stay functional and not scattered. Then you decrease the overwhelm. So, my question for you is, if you had to choose only three things that truly matter tomorrow, what would they be? And when you're deciding on your three things, is it easy for you to identify those three things that truly matter and that you're going to do tomorrow? And it might be work, three things that move you at your workplace, three things that moves your life forward. So identify three things that will matter for tomorrow and you concentrate on doing that. So let me pause here for a moment, because if you're listening to this and thinking this is exactly where I am right now, then this is not something to just listen to. This is something to apply immediately. So we spoke about the three things, the three critical moves only move. So identify those three things and also lower the bar but not the standard. And you're going to see how you're going to simplify your life. Then comes the, and if you have questions, please put it down into the chat, and I'll attend to that between each of these fixes. Yesh says, "My dog, my family, my health, so important. My dog, my family, my health. And if you don't have health, then you can't take care of others who need you as well. So therefore, it's important that you need to find ways to take care of yourself. Because if you're not fully there, then how can you support others emotionally, physically? If you are a caregiver to somebody in your family, then it's important that you find ways to take care of your health as well. The third one is the emotional containment window. So people either they suppress emotions and that builds internal pressure, it festers, or they let emotions spill into everything and then they lose control of work and lose control at work. So the solution over here is you create intentional containment windows. So, how this works is you don't ignore what you're going through, but you schedule space for it before work, after work, or during a walk or during quiet time. So, you let that. So, Kilisha, you mentioned, you can't concentrate on things, your mind is always fixated on the issue. So, in that case, you might need to introduce the containment windows when you're going through something. You will actually intentionally schedule time to go through what you're going through. And then when you're at work, you just focus on what you need to do. Because your mind, if you continuously think about it, then that just builds and you go through that negativity, you go through that sadness, and it consumes you. So the intentional containment window will help you to, in that period of time, you process the feelings you're going through. Because I'm not saying suppress those feelings, I'm saying schedule containment windows so that you can work through and process your feelings through it. And it allows you to also operate normally during your work day as well. So during work hours, you hold the weight. You're not suppressing it, but you're containing it. And this is how you stay composed without pretending everything is fine. And Kalisha asks a very important question of here. How do I break that pattern of constantly overthinking? I would say that you need to really be intentional about it. It's hard to not overthink, but if you are creating space for it, then you're able to process some of your emotions during that time. I'll use an example. Before this live, I had a little nap. And as I was napping, I remembered how my dog used to jump onto the bed when she was well. And sometimes I'd wake up in the morning and I'd see her sleeping next to me. And that brought, some sadness to me that things have moved. And I just thought, I still have to go on with this life. So I processed my feelings during that period, and then I was able to now be able to some degree, be able to have this conversation with you because it's an important conversation to have. So, to your point, to your question, Kilisha, I think you need to be intentional about it. It's hard, but you just need to be intentional of when am I dealing with it, because your thoughts, that overthinking, can get the better of you. So give it space, acknowledge it, and if it's away from work, you can sit in that feeling, you can let it, you can process it, you can go into it. But sometimes when you overthink, you're going through a spiral and it's a rabbit hole. Once you start thinking one thought, it takes you to another thought. And then before you know it, you're depressed or you're angry, whatever the issue is, it just builds. So try and bring your mind back to what you're focusing on. And one of the videos that I did recently on the triangle breathing is you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, and you breathe out for 4. You just do that for 4 or 5 times, and that will calm you. And what you try and do, because you're also tricking the brain, you're trying to move the brain from something that's depressing, something that's working on your mind, something that's making you angry, whatever the feeling is, do that triangle breathing, and that will help calm you down. And when your mind is going to whatever it is that's on your mind, bring it back to your breath. And that might help you to contain those feelings. And here the key word is intentional. Do it intentionally. You can see your brain, you can see your mind is going off and to whatever that's consuming you. Bring it back and use your breath to intentionally do that. I find when I'm, especially whilst my dog's been in hospital, one of the key things that I tend to do is I tend to work a lot just to keep me from thinking about whatever I'm going through. And yes, I allow myself to have a good cry or to talk it out. But also, I know I need to deliver. I need to do things. So for me, what works for me is if I'm busy, I'll work on a script. And that takes my mind off from my dog not being at home when she was in a hospital. So find something that can take your mind away off what you're what's actually consuming it. So if arts and crafts is something that you do, and Kelisha, you mentioned this in a previous live, if arts and crafts is something that you do that gives you a sense of calmness, then do that. I hope I answered your question properly. You're welcome, Kalisha. She says, thank you for breaking that down so beautifully. I will definitely try to use these methods to cope with things. And yes, you need to give yourself space to process what you're going through. uh, and and by having these intentional containment windows, you're not suppressing your emotions, because as I said, that will fester as well, and that's negative. You must be able to, there's nothing wrong with having a good cry. There's nothing wrong with speaking it out with your family or a close friend. So this is a bit of a heavy live. It's a bit of a heavy a topic, and I don't want to get anybody down. It's just it's an important topic that we need to talk about, because not all the time. Well, we're not taught how to deal with these emotions. It's either you suppress it, you don't talk about it. People think if you cry, it's weak. You're showing weakness. So I thought it's an important topic to talk about. What do you think about the topic? You can drop it into the chats as well. The fourth fix is the stable output over peak performance shift. People think I must still perform at my best. And that's really unrealistic under emotional strain. So, as high performance people, you want to give out your best. But the aim here is for consistency and not intensity. So, what does this look like? So, you have stable output, fewer mistakes. It's better than having an impressive output but with so many mistakes. So, you you rather have fewer mistakes than an impressive output. You rather have clear thinking as opposed to fast thinking. So give yourself space to think clearly. And remember, the whole thing is about stable output, it's about stability. And remember, this doesn't happen all the time. You're going through a certain season in your life. So, how are you going to cope? You rather complete tasks than overextending. You're the person that will just do. You'll please people by taking on more. But during this season of your life, you need to look at what are those key things that you're going to concentrate on, and you're going to try and complete tasks. So your stable output entails fewer mistakes and not impressive output. It might be clearer thinking instead of fast thinking. It might mean completing tasks instead of overextending yourself. And this protects both your reputation and your energy. When you're taking care of somebody that's ill, when you're going through something in your own life personally, that's when you need to retain your energy as well. Yesh says a heavy but important topic. Yep. Glad that we are discussing it, as most don't. I'm learning a lot, and you're most welcome. Yesh. So, remember that story I mentioned about when my mom was ill? I had that arrangement with my client. I made sure my deliverables were 100% top notch, not questionable. My thinking was sound, that through my deliverables, I even grew confidence that my client, I grew the confidence in my client that they could rely on me. They could, despite me being going through what I was going through from a personal perspective, their confidence in me grew because I was able to deliver 100%. But I was very precise on what I was delivering. I didn't over promise. I was very deliberate in terms of my deliverables. And I didn't miss deadlines. And just by working like this, I was given time and space to go through what I was going through, be able to be there personally for my mom and my family. And also, I was there for my client and I was able to deliver. Because at the end of the day, I still needed to earn an income. Life doesn't stop, work doesn't stop when life happens. You have to still continue. Then you need to find how would that work for you. And what I showed my client was that I'm outcomes based. This is what I'm promising, and that's what I'll deliver. So my question to you, and you can drop it in the chats. Are you trying to perform at your best right now, or are you trying to stay steady? Are you trying to impress, or are you just remaining steady? Or is this topic not applicable to you right now? That might also, you might be in a very comfortable season, but not all seasons are the same. So, therefore, this conversation can prepare you for a season that is yet to come. So, if I had to answer this question, I think I'm in a space where I'm trying to stay steady. I'm trying to do what's important, meet my commitments to my client, but I won't overextend myself. So that's where I am at the moment. Remember, energy is finite. So if you overextend in one place, then you can't give to in another place. So you need to make a call. Kelisha, trying to perform at my best, but trying to learn at the same time. And that's so true. You can try and perform, but also learn. And it's about trade offs, right? Yes, just trying to remain steady, going through some things. I'm going through some things, and I'm just trying to hold it together. No time to impress. You know what? There'll be time to impress. And it depends on the season that you're going through. And the fifth one is the non negotiable energy anchors. Now, this gets back to a comment that Yesh made. So, when life hits, people drop the basics first. So, what's the basics? It's sleep, it's eating properly, it's movement, it's quiet time, recovery time. Now, when you drop that, it makes things worse. And let me be honest, Avia, this is where I'm not getting it right all the time. My sleep has been off. Some nights I'm just thinking too much about what's coming, or I sleep too late. My eating's been off. And when you don't eat and then you eat one meal, then you make poor choices. And I know it's not the right decisions that I'm making from a eating perspective. Sleeping, I sleep too less then I wake up with less energy and my energy drops. Then I can't think. Can you see? It's a vicious cycle. One thing impacts the other. So that's the reality. When life gets hard, these are the first things to go. And that's exactly why you have to protect them intentionally. So I see with my younger brother, he gets this right because even though my dad's unwell, he's still, and he's going through it as well himself, taking care of him. He still gives himself time to exercise. And that's important. For myself, what I find is mentally, I don't want to exercise. It feels I don't have the energy because I'm not sleeping properly and I'm not eating properly. Then I don't have the energy to exercise. Just today, it was a lot for me to take myself to gym. And once I got over there, I exercised and I felt good because with exercising, it feeds you energy. So you need to see what are those two or three anchors that's non negotiable, that you're not going to drop. If it's sleep, then ensure you get your right amount of sleep. And if you can't get your right amount during the night, then find ways of having a nap during the day. If you're not eating properly, then find ways of, and this is what I was thinking as well. I need to find ways of eating properly, especially during high stress um, seasons in my life, because I know the first thing I'm going to do is not eat properly. So, um, I'm trying to be more deliberate. This is something I haven't gotten right that I'm trying to work towards. The movement part of it, that helps a lot. The quiet time, what I've been doing as well is during before I sleep, I will do the triangle breathing for 5, 6, 7 times, and then I go into sleep as well. And even whilst I'm doing it, I fall off to sleep. So that's been helping me as well. So you find things that's non negotiable, energy anchors, and you keep to that. And Kalisha says, yes, these are things that gets affected first. Once I mess up on one, for example, my diet and food, then it's like a rabbit hole and everything goes down from there. Kelisha, that's like for most of us. Don't be hard on yourself because most of us tend to go through that as well. And you just need to pull yourself and see how you can rectify that. Even it doesn't mean heavy gym sessions or what you'd usually do. Go for a walk. That's quiet time. Listen, what I've also been finding as well, just listening to some uplifting music helps. It just like changes, it shifts your energy as well from what you're feeling. And it's about being intentional here again. What will shift your energy from being sad, negative, angry, whatever you're feeling, to uplifting your energy. And also the other day as well, I put on some music. It doesn't mean I'm joyous, it's just that I want to shift my energy from what I'm feeling to improving it. And by you being more positive as well, you can give more of yourself. So here again, pick two or three anchors you protect no matter what. So, sleep window, even if it's shorter, you protect it. Sleep is so important, and that's what I'm finding as well, because it has an impact on everything else in your life. Your 10 minutes walk, do that instead of, having a long gym session. Have proper meals. not convenience eating. That's a note to self. And I'm trying to do that, guys. 5 minutes of stillness and breathing. So, those are things, if try and put that into play in your life when you're going through something. And remember, these are not nice to haves. They are what will keep you functional, because you need to still be functioning as you're going through the season. Can you believe we're reaching the end of the live? If you've got any questions, please pop that into the chats. So my question to you is, we spoke about five things. Which one of these are you actually going to apply in your life and in the next 24 hours if it's applicable to you? So the first one is lower the bar, not the standard, reset. The second one is the three critical moves only rule. The third one is the emotional containment window. The fourth one is the stable output over peak performance shift. And the fifth one is the non negotiable energy anchors. Yesh says, anchors that I need to protect. And that's so, and that's good that you identified that as well, Yesh. Even as I've been planning this live, as much as I'm sharing it with yourselves, it's things that I'm going to put into play in my life because I think I need it, and it will serve me during the season that I'm going through. If you've got any questions, you can put it into the chat. Yesh says, thanks for sharing your experience and what you're going through. Yeah, you're most welcome. So remember that I've got the calm performance reset sessions that I'm offering. It's a structured 45-minute clarity conversation. It's for workload, mental load, and direction. So if you're interested, if you're watching this video later and those on the live, if you're interested, you may book a session using the link in the description. So I've put it into the description as well. So yeah, let's have a chat. Remember that life will always happen to us, but how we deal with it will determine how we navigate through it. I hope that this live has given you some ideas on how to cope, because we need some kind of coping mechanism during the season that we're navigating. Be kind to yourself always. Take care of yourself. Remember those anchors. As much as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself as well. Those anchors will keep, if we don't lose ourselves and drop those anchors, then at least we can take care of ourselves. So, and that's the important thing, take care of yourself. Kelisha says, wow, that's such a powerful closing statement. Thank you for an insightful live. Thank you for being on this live and contributing and participating. I always appreciate yourselves just sharing with me. And to those who watch this live later on as a video, I hope that this conversation brings you some sense of calm as well if you're going through something difficult. And I hope that the tips will help you once you put that into play. So be kind to yourself and remember, as always, you matter. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week, same time, same place, and have a wonderful week further. Take care. Bye for now.